It's common to experience the impact of rising prices. This is the story of a sticky-fingered mom who, in trying to save money, ended up shouldering a huge expense. What saving methods did the sticky-fingered mom try? I need you to listen to me because a good friend of mine, a mom, was hurting because of her overzealous ways of saving money. The sticky-fingered mom's name is Alice, and the reason we became friends was because my son and Alice's son were in the same kindergarten. While most children at that kindergarten enter from the preschool class, my son started in the middle of the year. Alice also enrolled in the middle of the school year, and because of that shared experience, we started talking to each other every time we picked up and dropped off our children. When we talked, we quickly became friends because we lived close to each other, and more importantly, we were from the same hometown. I worked as a part-time employee, but Alice is a full-time homemaker. She seemed to be living a thoroughly frugal life because she was a little worried about her husband's income all the time. Therefore, she was quite knowledgeable about which supermarket had what items on sale and the sale dates, and she often shared that information with me. As she did so, prices began to rise, and Alice's money-saving efforts escalated. At first, it was just recipes that used inexpensive ingredients, but it escalated quickly to the point where she started begging me for things like groceries. I also got tired of being repeatedly asked to share my food with her, so I started to distance myself from Alice. However, since our children attend the same kindergarten, we still run into each other. I try to keep my interactions brief and just say a polite hello without getting too involved. In that period, there were no longer any positive rumors about Alice among the other moms, and groups similar to victim support groups had started to form. There were many stories about Alice visiting other moms' houses and taking home stocks of toilet paper and tissue boxes. Alice would take unopened seasonings and other things without permission and bring them home. I've also had her take things from my home without asking a few times. It seemed like Alice thought of it as a way to save money. So I think she only steals what she needs for daily life. Those rumors started to spread, and people stopped inviting Alice over to their homes. After that, it seemed like Alice changed her targets from her mom friends to stores. She apparently started taking home things like wet wipes or utensils that are given out at supermarkets and convenience stores. Despite the rumors, Alice seemed confident in her own money-saving methods. I'm good at saving money, you know. Saving is important. You just don't need to spend money on things that are not necessary. She was babbling on and on, bragging to the other moms at the park and kindergarten about how she was skilled at saving money. One of the newly enrolled moms, who seemed to be unaware of the rumors, would hang out with Alice. Over time, Alice's penny-pinching habits escalated even further. It seemed she started taking items from the local supermarket without permission. She took whatever she could bring home with her, including toilet paper, air freshener, hand soap, and paper towels in the restrooms. When the store supplies began to disappear too quickly, they installed surveillance cameras at the entrance to the bathroom. As a result, Alice's actions were discovered, and she got into quite a bit of trouble. However, since it was her first offense, she was let off the hook. Despite this, Alice's behavior did not stop. I met Alice at the nearby drugstore around that time, and she boasted about her money-saving techniques again. So, if you take the things they use in these stores, you don't have to buy them yourself, right? I'm so clever, aren't I? Don't you want to do it together? No, I'm good. I couldn't help but think that taking things from a store without paying for them is a crime, and taking toilet items that could be contaminated is unsanitary. However, Alice seemed to prioritize saving money over those concerns. I even considered reporting her, but as a fellow parent, I couldn't bear the thought of her getting into trouble and hurting her children. Plus, she seemed to be a repeat offender, so I figured she would get caught soon enough without my intervention. Most people wouldn't even consider using toilet paper that someone else had used, but Alice didn't seem to mind. I personally think she went too far just to save money. It seems that Alice continued with her money-saving techniques even after that. And then one day, something happened. I saw people wearing white protective suits entering Alice's house a few blocks away. The full-body suits made them look like they were wearing spacesuits, and it created an eerie atmosphere in the neighborhood. I wonder what happened to Alice's house. From far away, neighbors were gossiping about Alice's house in hushed voices. Apparently, people in white protective suits were pest control workers, and they spent a considerable amount of time cleaning the house. Later, it was discovered that the toilet paper that Alice had stolen from various stores had insect eggs attached to it, and unknown insects had hatched, causing an unbelievable mess. It seems that Alice had been stealing not only from stores, but also from public facilities, such as the train station and parks, and I think that unsanitary items were mixed in with the stolen items. Furthermore, she had stored all of the stolen items in a closet. When Alice's husband, who knew nothing about it, opened the closet, the unidentifiable insects that had been breeding in the warm and food-rich environment inside the house flew out all at once. The insects had apparently grown quite large because they were inside the house, which was warmer than outside, and there were a lot of them, so the whole house was filled with insects, like a scene from hell. When Alice's husband asked her about the situation, it was revealed that she had been stealing items from various places. Immediately afterward, pest control workers were called in to clean the house. Alice's house was in terrible condition, and even veteran pest control workers were at a loss. There were also quite a few stolen items, and since they didn't know which one was causing the insect infestation, they decided to dispose of everything. By the way, Alice's house is a standalone house, but around the same time that the pest control incident occurred, there was also an insect problem in the neighboring apartment complex. Even though it was a winter and not the season for insects to emerge, pests were found all over the apartment complex, leading some to suspect that it was due to Alice's house. Although insects are found everywhere, it cannot be proven that the pests that appeared in the apartment complex were due to Alice's house. But the fact that pest control workers came at the same time made it suspicious. In the end, Alice decided to pay for the pest control costs of the apartment complex to avoid trouble with the neighbors. It is said to have cost around $10,000. Alice's husband found out about the theft because of the pests, but the police arrived at the same time as the pest control company. Apparently, a neighborhood store was having problems with supply theft, and when they found Alice on camera, they reported it to the police. She was then questioned at the police station. As we live in a small town, rumors about Alice spread quickly. However, all the rumors were strange, and no one knew the truth. She was rumored to have been taken to a mental hospital, or she had contracted a strange disease, or she was apparently growing illegal plants. I think the neighbors only saw the protective clothing company and the police entering the scene, so they probably let their imaginations run wild with all sorts of rumors. Additionally, Alice's son is still in kindergarten.
Mom was taken by people wearing white clothes. They said they're going to disinfect, and there were police officers there too.
Rumors about Alice spread among the mothers in the kindergarten because of these words. What does it mean that Alice is being disinfected?
Maybe she caught some strange disease.
But the police were also there, right? Wait, does that mean she committed a crime or something? Knowing her, it's possible, right? We talked about it every day like this. Alice's husband was unaware that not only was his wife stealing supplies, but she was also causing trouble for the store. Her mom, her friends, and many other people, all while pretending to save money. He seemed unaware of this incident and was shocked when everything came to light. Alice's decision to start saving money was also a shock to him because he thought his income was sufficient. He worked for a major insurance company and had good sales results, so he didn't need to worry about his income that much. Perhaps she just admired the title of frugal housewife. After the rumors about Alice had died down a bit, a moving truck was parked in front of her house. I wondered if the rumors had become so widespread that she felt the need to move to a smaller place. When I asked around, I found out that Alice and her husband had apparently divorced. It turned out that Alice had committed many crimes, and there were several complaints filed against her, which resulted in her being arrested and sentenced to 2 years in prison. Normally, if you get caught shoplifting, it's considered theft and you could be fined up to $5,000 or sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. That's when the amount of loss is substantial and when the crime is repeated. Alice stole things like toilet paper, so the amount of damage wasn't significant, but she kept repeating the theft in various places, didn't she? That's probably why she was imprisoned. I think they decided it was malicious. Alice's husband decided to divorce her because he did not want his son to be the child of a criminal. It seems that the neighbors also spread strange rumors about her in the neighborhood, and as a result, he concluded that it was no longer feasible to live there due to the narrow-mindedness of the people. Alice's house was just built a few years ago, I believe, but it was put on the market when Alice went to jail and her husband disappeared. It is likely that a significant amount of child support and compensation will have to be paid. Alice's husband went to apologize to each of the houses of the moms she inconvenienced. Fortunately, it seems that Alice's parents were reasonable people, and they apologized by giving a sum of money equivalent to the cost of pest control, saying, "We're sorry for the trouble caused by our daughter." However, it seems that Alice's parents lived near Alice's house, so they had heard rumors about their daughter's bad behavior. In the end, Alice's parents also had to move due to their reputation being tarnished. Of course, Alice was also disowned by her parents, and after the divorce, she was in a situation with nowhere to go. Even after Alice's arrest, rumors continued to spread, with more and more scandalous stories attached to her name, such as Alice allegedly going insane and attempting to kill her mother, her husband being involved in an affair, and even claims that her son was not fathered by her husband, and other completely unrelated stories. Alice's husband, who was concerned about the situation, explained the sequence of events. Infestation occurred. Pest control company was hired, discovered Alice was stealing, got divorced, and apologized to the parents at their child's kindergarten before he moved. "So, that's why I only recently found out about all of this. If I caused any inconvenience to anyone else, please let me know and I will make amends." The participants of the Parent-Teacher Association who heard this story seemed to sympathize with Alice's husband, and no one else came forward. A few years later, I heard that Alice was released from prison and started living in a nearby cheap apartment. Despite causing so much trouble, she didn't seem to have any plans to leave the town. I saw her a few times in the shopping district, but she looked more like a grandmother than someone my age. I heard that her parents, who had helped her, cut ties with her, and that she started working part-time at a nearby supermarket to pay for alimony and child support, but she couldn't stop her habit of stealing and was fired soon after. According to rumors, Alice's husband remarried a few years later, which was a relief to those who were concerned. For a while after that, I didn't see Alice around town. But one day, I heard a rumor from a mom friend in the neighborhood. Hey, do you remember Alice who used to live in the neighborhood?" "Oh, Alice, right. Her son went to kindergarten with mine." "So, you know she was arrested and released, right? Apparently, she's now spreading some suspicious religion." "What? A religion?" "Yeah, it seems she couldn't find a job, and that's when some religious people approached her. I heard she's selling pictures and charms to her old friends from the neighborhood. So be careful, Jane." Afterwards, there were several instances where the other moms talked about Alice. It seems that Alice was invited to join a certain religion when she was having financial difficulties. She had always been interested in such things, and after attending a few seminars, Alice was immediately hooked. In that religion, it is believed that the more money you spend, the happier you become. And it is important to buy goods sold within the religion or make donations. They also believe that by inviting their own acquaintances, the leader of the religion will bestow them with special powers. Alice's recent catchphrase is, "I want to be happy even for just a little bit." And she has been visiting people she used to interact with and trying to recruit them into the religion. She is said to be so persistent that the police have been called several times. Although Alice changed her tactics when the police arrived, it seemed like she was quite desperate as she wrote letters and waited in the front of the houses to persuade people to join the religion. At first, Alice was already being avoided by her acquaintances and mom friends due to her involvement in theft, but this latest incident only served to make her even more unpopular. A few weeks after hearing such rumors, there seemed to have been a serious injury incident in our neighborhood. I didn't know about it at the time because I was at work, but it was apparently a big deal back then and was even covered in the news. According to the news, a woman with a knife broke into the home of an acquaintance, got into an argument with the man who lived there, and then attacked him with the knife. It's been scary lately, so we need to make sure to lock our doors properly at home. As they were talking, the news announced the suspect's name. The suspect arrested this time is Alice Maru, a homeless and unemployed person who has denied the charges during police questioning. What? It's Alice? Huh? Wasn't that mom friend of yours arrested before? Yeah, she was recently released from the prison, and some mom friends warned me that she's doing some suspicious business. We should be careful. Seriously, this is bad. I don't want someone like this in my neighborhood. Over the next few days, we gradually learned more and more about Alice's case. Alice had visited an old acquaintance at her home with the intention of inviting her to join the religion. However, she had been repeatedly rejected and eventually resorted to threatening her with a knife. She broke into the house, the acquaintance's husband became angry and chased her out. In a fit of rage, Alice ended up cutting him with the knife. Due to her previous criminal record and lack of funds, a settlement was out of the question. It's likely that she won't be released from prison for a while. Although we felt afraid of Alice's actions, we also felt relieved knowing that she won't be able to come out for a while. Years later, my son, who attended kindergarten, is now a college student. I'm a little sad because I'll be living on my own in the spring, but I'm also a little excited because I'll be able to enjoy some time to myself from now on. I know it's been many years since Alice's incident, and I'm sure everyone has forgotten about it by now, but I do think about it from time to time. I've been telling these stories to my mom's friends since kindergarten, and the other day, I heard something kinda scary. Hey, do you remember there was someone called Alice in the past? Oh, the one who talked about saving money, right? She was creepy. Sometimes I wonder what she's up to. Well, there's someone who looks a lot like Alice living near the riverbank recently. Huh? You mean homeless? Yeah, my acquaintance said they saw her. Oh, I see. That's how it turned out. She was arrested, so it's inevitable. It appears that Alice has hit rock bottom and can no longer afford to rent a home, so she's living as a homeless person under bridges and in parks. She's so disheveled that you wouldn't recognize her as Alice if you saw her. Reportedly, the homeless person is stealing supplies from parks and train stations, particularly toilet paper and air fresheners, which they then sell on the streets. She's even been known to sneak into supermarkets to steal stuff, making her someone to be very wary of in the neighborhood. The police have been called numerous times, and she may be arrested again someday. It was disheartening to see that she couldn't break the cycle of stealing, and it was also a little frightening to witness someone fall from grace, especially someone I used to be close with. Thank you for listening. It's scary how easily people can fall, even from seemingly small things, so please be mindful of not being too thrifty. So what did you think of this video? Jane learned a lesson from the frugal mama who lost her way, realizing that doing too much of anything won't help. We'll continue to delve into the true feelings that stir deep within people's hearts. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.